Okay, so let's start with the problems. Like what are the problems we want to cover today? Okay, so write a program which takes a number as input, right? And print odd if the number is odd. Otherwise, print even if the number is even number, right? So this is our odd even program, right? You want to check if the given number is odd or even. Yeah. So one thing will be right. Our input part will be right. We'll be taking a number as an input from a user, right? So this will be like num equal to input, right? I'll just say enter the number, right? And we know because it will come as a string, we need to convert it to int, right? So this will we will convert it to int, right? So now we want to check if the number is even or not, odd, right? So we know, right? If a number is divisible by 2, right? And it should come as 0, right? And mean number is even, right? Else we know it will be a odd number only because number can be either a even or a odd, right? Yeah. So we know, right? So I think this is our program. Let us suppose we are saying get 12, it's coming as even, right? Obviously, let us suppose if we give 30, it's coming as odd, right? So this is a small program where we are just checking for the number if it's even or odd. Okay. Let's see a problem 2. Right? So we want to write a program, yeah, which will print foo bar if the number is divisible by 3 and 7, and print foo the number is divisible by 3, and print bar if the number is divisible by 7, or we can say by only 3, and it's divisible by only 7. Yeah. So this is our problem statement, right? What it says that if the number is divisible by both 3 and 7, it should print foo bar. If the number is divisible by only 3, it should print foo. If it's only divisible by 7, it should print bar. And this is a very common problem, right? Even you will find this problem, right? People ask this question in interviews also to write. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we're getting a program, right? And we'll take a number as an input, right? From a user. So we know, right? We'll just go number, right? Input, and I'll say enter the number, right? And we'll convert it to int. Okay. Now what we'll do, we have to check for the number if it's divisible by 3, 7, or 3 and like this. Okay. So there can be a multiple approach to do this. Okay, let's see first approach. So what we can do, we can just say if number is divisible by 3, can we do something like this? Okay, 3, if it's divisible by 3, we'll just print foo, right? Okay, and if number is, yeah, we can do it without brackets also. If number is divisible by 7, print bar. It's either like we need to check for the remainder equal to 0, because by default if it comes 0, what will the case? It will come as false, right? So we should also check for either the remainder, or we should check for not also. Right? They should come as 0. Okay, we'll print bar, and if num is say divisible by 3 and num is divisible by 7, right? So you can just say foo bar. Okay. Okay, let's see if this is correct or not, right? What we are doing here. Okay. So let us suppose I am entering say 42, right? So it's giving, okay, so this will be, okay, we'll put here also equal to 0, and here also equal to 0. Let's see now. We're giving our input as 42. We are getting all the three outputs, right? Foo, it's also printing foo, it's also printing bar, and it's also printing foo bar. So what we have done here wrong? We need only one of these three outputs, right? So we need to use else or elif here. We cannot do it without that, right? Okay. So what we need to do here? If number is divisible by 3, we'll just print foo. Can we do something like this? Elif, elif. Okay. Let's try this, right? Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm giving say 15. Oh, it's working as expected. Okay, let us suppose I'm giving a 21. What should be the output? It should be the foo bar, right? Because 21 is divisible by 3 and 7 both. Now it's just printing foo. So what we have done wrong here, right? This condition should be, we should need to check this first, right? So this should go first. So guys, I think this is very important. The order always matters. So this should be here. And then when we are dividing it only by, it should go first, right? And it should be foo bar here, right? And this can go last also, and this can go after that also. And it will be foo. The order matters a lot in case of if else, right? So, okay, now I think this look good, right? Okay, let's try it for 21. We are getting foo bar. Let's try it for 15. We are getting foo. Let's try it for say 14. We are getting bar. Yeah. So I think this is our correct program, right? But let us suppose if you want to do it say in less line of code, or we want to do with some other approach. Okay, let's see what can be done here. So the other approach can be, let us suppose I'm initializing output as a string here. We're just initializing it with an empty string, right? Now what will we do? So we know, right? We are getting foo for 3. We are getting bar for 7, right? Okay. So what will I do? If I say number, if I'm doing it by 3, so first we are getting for 3, right? I will say output equal to output plus what's there? It's foo, right? For 3 we are getting foo, right? And again, I want to have bar. So will I go with something like this? Will this be the right way? No, right? Because otherwise only one will be executed. So guys, what we are doing, if the number is divisible by 3, we are adding foo. If the number is also divisible by 7, we are adding bar. Right? If it's divisible by both, we are getting both foo and bar, right? So here in the end, we can just print output, right? So what we have done here, we are doing it just with two if conditions. We are appending foo for 3, we are appending bar for 7. If it's just divisible by 7, this will be executed. If it's just divisible by 3, this will be executed. If it's divisible by both will be executed. And we'll get output foo bar. Okay, let's see. If I say 21, we are getting foo bar because both things are appended. If we are saying 40, we are getting bar only. If we are saying, let us suppose 15, we are getting foo only. So this is the other approach for this same problem. So I think this will be your, right? So these are the two approaches. So this is your approach 1. This can be your approach 2. Right? So here we have used string concatenations also. Here we are just directly printing this. Right? Yeah. So I think both the approach should be clear to you guys. Okay, let's see more problem for today. Okay, so problem 3. Write a program which checks if the given string is having all the characters in uppercase or lowercase, right? So what we want to do here, we want to write up one second. So we want to write a program which checks if for a given string, if all the characters are in uppercase or lower cases, right? And if, right? Right? Or we can just change it. We can consider if the string is having all the characters in uppercase and lowercase, it is valid string. Otherwise, invalid string. So guys, these kind of use case you can have, like you just want to check a string, right? Which is string is coming as an input if it's having all the things in uppercase or lowercase, right? So this can be a requirement here, right? Yeah, guys. So this is our requirement. We want to write a program which takes a string as an input and it checks if all the characters are all the characters should be either in uppercase or it should be either in lowercase. It should not be the mix of both. So this is kind of a mix of a program where we are using string concepts also and we are using conditional logic also, right? Okay. So let's see what can be the approach to achieve this program, right? Yeah. Okay, so guys, we know, right, as an input, we'll take some string as a from the user, right? Okay, we'll get a string as an input from the user. Okay, good. And we don't need to convert because it's a string. Okay, so guys, what we can do, we know dot upper and dot lower, we have functions, right? So what we can do, if the string is equal to a string dot upper, right? Either it should be a string which is having all the characters in uppercase, or a string is equal to a string dot lower, or either it should have all the characters in lowercase, right? So we can use equal to compare to strings also, right? So what does this mean? If a string is when we convert that string to uppercase, it's equal to itself. What does this mean? If we are converting a string to lowercase, it's equal to itself, right? So okay, so I will explain you. Let us suppose if a string is say hello like this. When we convert it to uppercase, it will also be hello. But let us suppose if the string was something like this. But when I convert it to uppercase, it will become what it will become? It will become hello. So it will not be equal, right? They will be two different strings. So if any of this condition is satisfied, it's a valid string, right? So you can just say valid string. Else, we know, right? If this in any of these conditions, if no one out like if any of these both of these condition is not satisfying, it will be invalid string, right? So this will be our output, right? Okay, let's try to run this. Let us suppose if I'm saying hello, it's coming as valid string because everything is in lowercase, right? Okay, let's try to play around this, something like this. It's coming as invalid string, right? Right? And there can be a way like I can do it with the elf also, right? Something like first we check for upper. Like there can be other way, but I will not recommend this way. But yeah, we can do something like this also. If string is upper, valid string, right? And we can just say here also elif string is equal to string dot lower. In this case, it will be also a valid string. But we know, right, when we want the same output for both the conditions, there is no need to write it in a separate if else, right? So this is an approach that I will recommend, right? So this will not be a recommended approach, but this will also work as expected, right? Okay, yeah. So let's see one more approach for this. So guys, in string, right, I think we discussed methods, right? What are different functions for a string, but we have something which is more precise to the conditional logic. So what we have in strings? We have a few methods also, like this. So we have predefined methods in string. Is lower, right? Or is upper like this, right? So we have a method which actually check if the string is in upper or lower. So we don't need to convert and then check. We can also simply say I have a string dot upper or string dot lower. So it will just check if the string is completely in the upper case. This will check, sorry, this will be is lower. The string is completed in the lower case. If these conditions are true, then just print valid string. So guys, that's why I always say that whenever you are doing any problem, always go with the other solutions also, because there can be a multiple approach to do this. And this will be an invalid string. Right? So what would I say, like in this approach, I would say this looks more cleaner, right? And like here we are putting less code also, and it's more appropriate approach, I would say, like if you're using these methods, right? And let's try to run it for some use cases. Hello, okay, it's coming as an valid string. Hello, it's coming as valid string. Hello, it's coming as valid string. Right? So all these cases, it's working fine, right? Yeah, guys. So there are cases, right, where we want to do say some kind of validation also. Okay, so let us suppose we are saying problem 4. Okay. Yeah. So we want to write a program which takes 2 number as the input, right? And print the sum of the number. If user doesn't enter number as input, we should show him, we should display the appropriate error message, like please enter numeric values, right? So guys, in this case, what we want to do, these are called validations, right? We want to validate the value for the numbers, whatever user is input, whatever the user is giving as an input, we want to check if it's a number or not. So guys, we know right, what we generally do. Okay, so we normally what we do, let us suppose we are taking 2 numbers, right? Here what we do, enter the number 1. And here we say enter the number 2. And we just convert something like this. So guys, we can do direct conversion if we are sure user will not give an invalid value. Okay, and then we'll say sum value equal to num1 plus num2 and just print sum, right? Something like this, right? And I'm saying 12, 13, it's working, right? So it's 12, 12. It's working as expected. But let us suppose if user gave, say, 9A, something like this, right? Our program end up something like this, right? And our users are not always some computer program, like they might not understand this error. And what we want to say, like if user doesn't enter the numbers, we want to show him a proper value, right? Yeah. So guys, what we need to do here, the one option can be either we do exception handling for these cases. The other option is before conversion, we check what is the, if it's a number or not, right? So how to check? So we should ideally, in this case, in our problem specifically, we will remove this direct conversion because we are not sure if the input will be integer or not, it will be numeric or not, right? Okay, so what we'll do here, we'll just check here, yeah. So what we'll check, we'll do the sum only if both are valid numbers, or we'll say if they are not numbers, we'll just throw exception, right? So we know, right, we can say num1 dot, so we know it's a string, right, whatever we read, right? So because it's coming as a string, we can use as a method is digit, right? If it's in digit or not, right? Or we can use, right? And so if it's not digit, right, or not, if the number 1 is not digit or number 2 is not digit, right? If any of this is not digit, right? So what we'll do, if no one is, if what we are saying, if number 1 digit, no, if it's not digit or number 2 is not digit, what we'll do? We'll just print, right? You can see for the problem statement, please enter numeric values. Please enter numeric values for both the numbers. So we know, right? User have matched up with any of the numbers. Okay, guys. So if this is done, if we are good here, we know, right? If this is good, what we'll do? We'll calculate the sum. In the other case only, right? We'll calculate the sum and we'll print the sum to the user, right? Okay, let's try this program. And before calculating sum, what we are missing here? All these are still a string, right? So we have to convert here because we have not converted it while taking the input. We should convert it here. Let's execute this. Okay, I think we have to stop this because we executed this once. This is stop. Okay, guys. 12, right? So our sum came in 24. I think we can keep a space here so you guys understand this better. Let us suppose if I'm giving 1A or 12, other second one was number. Please enter numeric values for both the numbers, right? So now you can also understand the one use case where we are using not operator also, right? Not and a combination of or, both the things, right? And this is how. The other way of writing this program can be, I'll show you. If num1 is digit and num2 is digit, right? We check both are true. Here we are using and also. Yeah. And what we can do here, we just move this up. So this is another way to write this same program. And we move it here, else. Right? So this can be another way to do this. And this will work as expected. Saying 1A, 1B, right? This is us. The other way to do this is, right? There can be, this could be our, 1 second guys. So this is kind of our approach 1. This is our approach or way of writing approach 2. The other way of doing this will be, call it say approach 3. We can just check for the, okay, I will copy the approach 1 here. Right? Yeah. So guys, type we cannot use here. The reason is type will give us the type of a data type. So we can just check if the input type is in a string or it's an integer, right? But it will check based on the conversion. So we have to convert and then only we can use the type here. So it cannot give you the type, right? Or the other thing is like we also show you the user what is the value he's entered. Something like this. Okay. So we'll go with say this one. Okay, guys, if you want to show him like for which one he goes wrong. Right? So print enter the numeric values for both the numbers. And here we can just pass num1 and or we can just say here, or we can just print in a new line save. This will be like improving our output message. This is not much required. Entered values are same. We can just say num1. We can also say here num2. Something like this we can also do. Or if user enter the invalid values, he will get the num1 and num2 also. And this is just improving the error message. Yeah, guys. So I think as a homework, what would I suggest you guys? To try out all these problems on your own also. Go through these problems, all these 4 problems, and try the different approach. And you can also try more, like you can go with some other approach also. But yeah, try all this problem on your own. And guys, many of you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, which we are seeing. Like many are the, like I think 50% of the people are not subscribed. So I suggest you guys to subscribe also.